the Scar's Face, your boy Scarface, and I want to welcome you guys back again for another episode. Shout out to you guys for every week tuning into a new episode. I really do appreciate you guys. Wherever you guys are listening to this, give us a thumbs up, a 5-star rating, whatever it is. It really does go a long way, and trust me, I really do appreciate that you guys really enjoy the podcast and continue to mess with your boy. So again, thank you guys. So definitely give us a 5-star thumbs up wherever you're listening to. I really do appreciate it. And if you guys want to support the sponsor of the podcast, Naughty Science, go get your guys' tools to have some research. Because trust me, we all need to include a little bit of science tools to do some experiments. We have fun. You got to keep it You got to keep it spicy in the bedroom. So definitely click the link. There's also a code there if you guys want to save a little bit of money in the description, only for the podcast. So definitely go check it out. But today's episode, something that we've been getting topics, or people have been wanting me to talk about it. Now, I'm only going to say online account, spicy account. I'm only going to say this one time just because I don't want, when I clip this, I don't want to go and mute the word each time, because TikTok and Instagram don't let you say it, because if you do, you get flagged right away. So today's podcast episode is going to be the 10 reasons why OnlyFans is ruining relationships and guys. So again, I'll probably say OF, online account, spicy account, from now on here going forward, just because I don't want to say it. And especially if I get clipped, I clip it up, I don't want to get suspended for that. So just FYI, I know on the podcast we can say whatever. And if I wasn't going to clip this and put this on TikTok and Instagram, I would keep saying it over and over. It just saves me a lot of time in editing. So now there's no stopping online, OF. There's no stopping. There's people making new accounts all the time. They come and go. This person's popular. This next person's popular. And also, as long as the thirst is real from guys, they're going to continue to get on and pay a lot of money to these girls. So there's no real way to stop it. No real way to monitor it from your guy. But if you do realize that your partner is into this, it may be a red flag that you need to look into. So the first one there's no specific order. The first one that I have is unrealistic standards. Constant exposure to airbrush, stage, or performative intimate makes real life partners feel less exciting by comparison. And sometimes this causes ED, or they don't even want to be intimate with you just because they see what goes on in some of these videos. We've all maybe seen briefly or heard of they do all sorts of stuff. And there's some places that obviously do custom videos. So whatever their kink is, they can pay them a certain amount of money. And then guess what? They'll make them a video like that, which is a great business move. Don't get me wrong, but it's a horrible for guys and relationships. So that's the only problem about that one. So, and when it comes to like I said right there, when it comes to real life is not the same. You have this online, they'll give you what you want. They'll fulfill not every need, because obviously, some people want physical need, touch as well. But just these desires, seeing a girl do a certain thing, see a girl, I know, somebody had chatted with me. Somebody asked them to do one of those alien, toys. I have them on the website as well too. But for some reason they were getting off, the guy was getting off, would pay her a lot of money for custom videos of her doing an alien thing. So I'm telling you, some guys have some weird stuff. And if they tell you for you to do it, you're probably going to, hell no, that's weird. So that's why I mentioned, if it's not something super crazy, obnoxious, maybe trying it, because the last thing you would want is them to go online and seek it there. Because then after that, it just might be a little bit more difficult to get them back. And when it comes to when they don't want to, when they choose to watch those videos over you, it's because it's in real life, it's not even the same, because it's just plain boring. They slide it in, whatever. It might feel good for a little bit, but they're stimulated by what they saw on these videos. And so that's why real life is kind of boring now. And they want to see these online videos because they kind of feel like maybe that's what they want. So uh, pay attention to that. That's why I'm saying, like, if you know they're addicted to this, don't let them like just, oh, okay, it's fine, right? Because it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. The second one that I have is desensitization. Sensitization. Oh yeah, okay. See, obviously, like I'm over here struggling. So I struggle saying certain words because of the top of my mouth. Just saying, my cleft palate. So the more they consume, the harder it is to be turned on by genuine everyday intimacy, and that goes into the first one. The more and more crazy videos they look at, real life is going to be boring. Like if online they're watching this girl get doing certain things, inserting certain things, maybe doing certain positions. That's what's turning them on, and they keep watching that same thing over and over and over. And then when it comes to real life, and maybe you don't like to do that, or they've never asked you to do it, it's kind of boring, right? It's kind of like maybe they won't get hard, maybe they're just not into it, the drive's not there. But these online videos, hell yeah, because they'll find another one that's crazier than the last, the crazier, more stimulating, and so they get desensitized to real life, where the real life is more important than these online videos, because some guys don't realize, I don't know why in their head, they think that they can get this girl, or maybe they have some sort of connection with this girl. You keep paying her. That's the only connection you have. If that payment stops, then guess what? The conversation stops. The, hey, babe, hey, love. And it's not even them responding. The bigger ones, they have somebody else respond for them. So you're thinking you're getting a response directly from her. Nah, buddy. They got, like, when they get to that level where they can just hire and pay somebody else, it's way better for them. They don't have to sit there on the phone and respond to stuff. They already have, like, maybe they have pre-made responses. That way it sounds like them. But they're not answering it. Like they're having somebody else do it. Somebody else is getting paid to do it for them. So definitely pay attention to that, because even if they're hooked on it and they're still being intimate with you, I'm thinking there's going to be a shift at some point where it's just they're going to want that more instead of you. And so if you still have that wiggle room to pull them back a little bit, do it now. Okay. The next one I have is financial drain. Some guys are dropping rent money and subscriptions and tips over like these fantasy scenarios, fantasy things that they have in their head. And I've gotten the questions where, like, I remember there's one chick, she said that she caught her man spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on these girls. And there's somebody that I know, I'm not going to say who, was with somebody who was a little bit wealthy. They had some money. This dude, she ended up leaving him because this dude spent about $2 million on girls online, like tipping them and doing this. And she was telling me that he wasn't even that good looking. And she was giving him a chance. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he had the funds, obviously, to do that, because I forgot. I don't know if she said it was like a doctor or something. Like this dude was well off, but was like horrible at managing his finances and staying out of jail, because I guess he kept going into jail too. So, but now let's bring it back to somebody who is not in that scenario. Maybe they're living paycheck to paycheck, or they're barely getting by, living a little bit comfortable, but they're spending all their money on these girls. Like if they have to spend their rent money, the car payment money, the bills money, like on this stuff, they would rather give this girl or whoever girls money so they can get a video or something they can fantasize, or even just a response. Like, I was getting information, you can get a response, meaning like if you tip them a certain amount, they'll respond to you, they'll talk to you again. It's probably not them, but they'll make you feel like you're having a conversation with them. So that's what I'm saying. Like they're thinking in their head, they're actually talking to this girl. So imagine when they meet them in person, or if they ever happen to meet them in person, they're going to feel like they have a huge connection with this person. And then they're not even going to know who they are. And that's just gonna be, imagine someone come, oh, I did this. Oh, we talked about this. And she's gonna be like, oh, yeah, 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 I remember that. She didn't remember. uh, so it's gonna put a huge financial drain on your guys' situation. So even if it's like I said before earlier, if it's not bad, it's going to get bad. And there's some people, like I said, spending so much money on these. There's a reason why a lot of these girls have became rich really fast, because there's a lot of thirsty guys and they're willing to spend money and money they don't have to see videos of them, pictures of them, custom stuff of them, even to get a response from them, that way they feel acknowledged. So pay attention to that, because again, it's only going to get worse. And if you have time to cut him off now and try to fix this, now is the time to make that happen, because it may not be a financial strain right now, but it might down the road. It might when they choose to pay or tip somebody some money rather than to pay your guys' mortgage, rent, whatever the case. And then you're going to get close to being homeless. And so the next one that I have is escaping instead of connecting. Instead of working through relationship issues, they numb out with online attention from strangers. And that's what I'm saying. That's where it comes. They feel like they build some sort of connection with this person. And it's like, I try to tell people, the bigger they get, the less likely it's going to be them. Maybe a smaller creator, they're still responding because they're not there yet where they have enough income to be paying somebody to be responding, but you never know. But they're just doing it because they're getting paid. You guys need to realize they're only responding, having conversations with you because there is an exchange. There is a transaction there. If you don't give them money, they're not responding. Because have you tried DMing her? You haven't gotten a response from her, unless you were a subscriber, be like, hey, how do I subscribe? They'll be like, oh, link is in the bio. And then guess what? Then it ends there. They're not sitting there having a conversation like they would on these online accounts. Like, people don't realize that. Oh yeah, she really likes me. Yeah, because you're paying her money. If she really liked you, she would be having conversations with you, like maybe texting over the phone, FaceTime, hanging out in person if they liked you. But since there's a transaction that happens, you give this, in exchange, they give you that. So that's the only reason. That's what some guys don't realize. That's why I also don't like going to strip clubs, because it's a waste of fucking money. The only reason they're all over you, dancing, you being all sexy, is because you're giving them money. They guarantee you they're not going to be like that all over you if you had no money in there. They'd be like, oh, whatever, he ain't got no money. And then they talk. They tell each other. So the only reason you're getting any type of connection with them is because of money. And once that stops, then guess what? That stops. That's why they don't want it to stop, because they feel like, maybe they're romanticizing it in their head. They feel like, oh, one of these days she's actually going to respond and we're going to build a connection to a point where maybe even we can be together or something along those lines. Because what is their intention? Just to see them without clothes, see them naked? No, they're fantasizing about being with them, because I'm sure they don't take the video and they're like, great, thanks, and then keep it moving. No, they're using good old Manuela for that video, thinking that they're doing that together. So just letting you know. So, and also they start believing their favorite creator actually knows them and has a special bond. It's a really blurry reality. And like I said, it really is, because now it's actually getting to the point, like we talked about the connection part. Now it's getting to the point where they're having AI chatbots respond. So they'll respond for a little while. They'll show the response. Like, trust me, AI is getting crazy. It'll learn how you respond to something, and it'll start almost imitating your responses. And then by the time, like after a little while, after you train the AI how to do it, or responding how you respond, then guess what? They just let it go. And now they're paying very little money for this AI thing to respond to all their messages, connect with them, send messages out, emails, whatever the case. Because like for them, it's so much easier. They're not connecting with you. If you fellas, if you guys are signed up for something like that and you feel like there's some sort of connection there, stop paying her. Stop being subscribed to her and let me know how that connection goes. Like, just being honest. Let me know how that connection goes after you stop paying. Is it still there? Do they still talk to you? Did you get put off their list because obviously you're not subscribed? And it's the same thing with strippers. If you tell them you got no money, then guess what? They're not going to be dancing for you anymore. They're not going to be like, well, I'll just hang out just because. No, they're going to be like, all right, who's the next guy that has money? Who's the next guy that's going to be tipping out here and paying my bills? So they just keep moving on to the next, right? So you're not building no type of connection. They think they're building some sort of connection, which is not true. Again, the smaller creators, you might be responding to them, but they're not on this spicy account to make friends. They're on here to take your money. And so whatever they got to do, they going to lie to you. They're going to be a thanks, babe. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, you're so cute. Like, you're so adorable. And then the guy's going to be like, oh, shucks. Stop paying her and guarantee you that shit stops. So don't pay attention. Like, you're not connecting. Ladies, they're not connecting. If they tell you like they have some sort of connection, not happening. And that's a big thing that's ruining your actual real relationship where you're actually connecting with somebody because they're hurt that you're not talking to them. You're not being with them because you're so busy with this online girl that you have some sort of connection with. Yeah, mainly because you've been paying her money. The next one that I have is eroding self-control. Instant gratification rewires their brain to expect constant novelty, making commitment feel boring. Like, if you can just pay to get there, why would you try to chase something or continue to work on something when you can pay somebody and they're going to just fulfill you kind of emotionally, visually, not physically because they're not touching you, but it's almost like, I'll give this example, and this is a perfect example. Back when I was playing video games, I remember playing Grand Theft Auto. I forgot which one it was. It was super exciting. It was fun. Like, Grand Theft Auto was the girlfriend in this scenario. It was super fun, like chasing to unlock this, to get that. Super fun, right? And then it got to the point where I learned the cheat codes, which could be paying somebody, and then I was able to get unlimited money, no stars, all the stars removed. So now all that work to get things went out the window, and it was actually just the game was kind of boring now because I had access to everything. I could buy everything. I could get whatever I want. I could remove the stars. There was absolutely no more work that I needed to do into that. So, and then me at one point, I remember I was like, all right, I'm not going to use the code anymore because I don't want, I get on the game and it's boring because I just put the code in and get whatever I want, right? And then I was like, I don't want to, this is a lot of work to get a little bit of money, right? And so now, that's what I'm saying. I would rather just put the code in real quick, pay, get what I need, be fulfilled, and then keep it moving instead of working. So, and that's how a lot of guys are, if you're not fulfilling them in the bedroom, like maybe they've never told you their kinks, their fantasies, but they'll tell this person who doesn't know them and they just send a video, even saying their name, they're going to be like, hell yeah, I can just pay this and get this instant gratification compared to you. Like, if I bring this up, we might have an argument. You'd be like, why do you want to do that? Or you just might throw my freakness and be like, that's fucking weird. Like, why do you want to do something like that? I'm not going to do that. So that's another reason why is that it's so easy to get what they want, what they desire, their fantasies, not physically, just visually, and maybe by messages, it fulfills them too, because it feels like they're talking to somebody too, right? Somebody's listening to them. Ooh, baby, I just want I want to take care of you. I've seen some of these dudes, how they message some of these girls. Shit be wild out there. Some of the messages that, oh, I just want to take care of you, baby girl. I know I'm married. The next one that I have is comparison pressure. Partners feel like they have to compete with the content creators' bodies, performance, and availability. Now, guys don't realize that technically that's their job. So they're going to be available a lot of the time because The more they're available and you're watching videos and requesting videos, the more money they make, the nicer car they can buy, the bigger place they can get, the clothes they can buy. And so that just requires them to be available to you, who keeps paying them, a little bit more. So, and then it makes the partner feel like, oh, he must like girls who have big boobs or this or this or this because that's who he subscribed to. First of all, it's crazy that you allow that. Him being subscribed to some online page like that when you guys are clearly in a relationship. If I'm with somebody and I saw that they were subscribed to some shit like that, it's a problem. I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why do you need that? Go with them. Fuck it. Go with them. Because also pay attention to what they search. Like, say it's not this online account. Maybe it's the one, where people upload a bunch of videos. It's been popular over the, it's a hub of these videos. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, pay attention to their search results. What are they searching? What are they looking for? Because technically they will search for stuff that they're into. They'll search for stuff that they're like, what they desire, what they need to fulfill them. It might be like a whole different person and like they're with you, but in reality, like sexually, they're craving this type of person. So, because I even had the podcast with Veronica where she said that she went through the issue where, she knew somebody who went through the issue of they were supposed to, like, the guy wanted her to moan a certain way, which is crazy, fucking wild, just because these online videos or whatever he was watching, that's what he was into, not how she moaned. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's pay attention to their search results. If you find this out early on, pay attention, ask questions, like figure out how bad it is. Damage control. Because if you wait like 5 years down the road where it gets worse, now you're invested more time into this person. And now you're less likely to leave because you're like, I don't want to throw away all these years, which could have been avoided if you just asked some questions. So the next one that I have is trust erosion. Secretly spending on or hiding subscriptions can feel like micro cheating, leading to suspicion and resentment. If you've brought it up because you've seen the charges and they go and make a separate account or get a card that you don't know about just to put the charges on, it's only going to get worse. That the addiction is real. If they had to go and get an account and not tell you about it just so they could continue to see this, that's a problem. Because I guarantee you, if it was drugs, you'd be like, they're addicted because they're doing whatever it takes to get the drugs. The drug to them is these videos, these online girls. That's their drug. And so they're willing to go through obstacles, hoops, so you don't see it. What you don't see is how big of a red flag that is. And that's something you definitely need to pay attention to, because it's only going to go, if they went to that lengths to hide that, who knows what else they'll go to hiding. Like, maybe they go somewhere and they hire an escort. They're not going to tell you. Now they got a separate account that you can't see the charges. You don't see what's going on. Like, if they're willing to hide charges from you, they're willing to hide a lot from you. Like, I get it if they're trying to hide the online videos, that's still a red flag. But if they're actually physically went and made another account, applied for different cards just for this specific reason, you need to pay attention to that. That's a huge red flag right there. Performance anxiety. Guys start overthinking in the bedroom, trying to replicate unrealistic online scenarios. And that's why sometimes they performance anxiety. Again, we learned from Veronica. If you guys didn't listen to the EED episode, it came out last week. Go check it out. Medical professional that has dealt with ED. So definitely gave some great insights. Performance anxiety is definitely one that a guy suffers where they don't need anymore. Or like, not anymore. They don't need Viagra or something to get it up. It's all in their head, stress, performance anxiety. And then the same with this is like maybe that's why they don't get it up, is because now they feel like they need to perform like that in order for you to moan or do whatever they were doing in that video. And so now they just don't get it up. uh, so that's why, like, I know some people who, there was somebody back in Idaho too that I knew. When I got introduced to this couple, they seemed super happy, super great and everything. And then I don't know how long after that. I think they had maybe a year, maybe shorter or longer. Don't remember. But they ended up getting divorced. And I was just like, what the fuck happened here? I thought you guys were like happily married, And I didn't obviously ask no questions. I wanted to know, but I didn't ask any questions. Then later I ended up finding out that she had left him because he was addicted to this online stuff. And he just could not stop. Like, it was hiding stuff. It was like creating separate accounts. When it gets to that point, the only thing that's going to help is some therapy, counseling. That's it. There's nothing you can say or do. You can threaten to leave like she did. She left. Of course, he wanted her to stick around, but he chose the online stuff over her. So imagine like they're choosing this online stuff over you, and you're letting them get away with that. Like, you're letting them get away with that by letting be like, whatever, it's no big deal or whatever. Like, no, they're clearly, if that person was in the same room with you, they're choosing that girl over you. Because if they're willing to choose the girl over you just from a video online presence, imagine what they would do in person. They're going to choose the other person over you. If they were able to do it with the online personality, whatever you want to call it, and they have never met them, imagine if they actually started talking to somebody and met them. Who do you think they're going to choose? They're going to continue to choose them. So just remember that. So the last one that I have is it's a loneliness amplifier. What's meant to connect actually deepens isolation when real relationships take back seat to fantasy. So we had the questions on the ED episode where one of the girls, she said that she was taking, or her ex-husband was taking 20 milligrams, and still couldn't get it hard. And then said that it was because she was ugly, right? Which is heartbreaking. Now she's with somebody else, banging her life away. She said, because she wanted to give me more context on that answer, that how bad it felt, how horrible it felt, that not being wanted by somebody, feeling alone because this person doesn't want her. He wasn't choosing like online videos, but it's the same thing. So imagine you're getting chosen, they're choosing this online videos or personality over you and not even fulfilling you or trying to fulfill you. They want that. They don't want you. Imagine how that feels. I'm sure that's devastating. I'm sure that's heartbreaking for sure. But just how lonely, maybe even ugly they feel, like not want, because if you don't feel wanted or sexy by your person, like who like this person who like is supposed to be making you feel like that. That's why the moment somebody else comes and makes you feel a little bit wanted, a little bit sexy, they end up going and stepping out of the relationship because of that. And then not even that, like sometimes it leads to something worse. People self-harm just because they think that they're not good enough, and hopefully it doesn't get to that situation, but it can get lonely. And you, just like everybody, I'm sure we all get in our head, some people worse than others, and some people go into a darker place than others. So that's why, like, if you're already struggling with mental health, depression, or anything like that, this is just going to make it worse, right? So now you're adding another layer on top of whatever you're already dealing with. And, sometimes people get to the point where they just want it all to stop and end. And unfortunately, some people go through with it, which is horrible. But I think the moral of this is we need to stop allowing your partner, the moment you see them getting heavy into these videos, or subscribe to some of this stuff, you need to make a change. You need to make something happen because it's only going to get worse and worse. And if they can't stop, you're going to have to make some tough decisions because when it gets to a point of no return, like for you, meaning they can come back from it, but it's nothing you can do or say that's going to make them come back. What's going to make them come back is actually getting help, the proper help to getting past this stuff. Again, nothing you can do or say. And that's what I mean. Like it gets to the point where of no return, meaning like there's nothing you can do. They're already so deep into this. It's either they're going to want to fix themselves or, of course they also want to fix themselves, but go and seek some help over it. They can't don't allow, hey, I'll just stop. They got their phone on them. They got an iPad. They got a computer somewhere else. People who are addicted to it will find a way to see it, to watch it without you knowing, and that's why like a lot of people get away with it because they'll find a way to do it. Maybe they'll get better at deleting it off their phone. Go get a separate bank account. Go do something that way you don't see it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, definitely pay attention to this stuff because it only gets worse. It only ruins relationships. And if you know that this is going on early on in your relationship, time to make some tough decisions now because your future self is going to thank you. So imagine if we could go back in time, right? Imagine you gave them a pass, like whatever, it's just these online things. And then it got worse and worse and you wasted 5-10 years with this person. You would probably be like, all right, I'm going to go back in time and I'm not going to let that shit happen again. I'm going to leave. Don't wait those 5-10 years and then be like, oh, I should have left a long time ago. I knew I should have left. So, you need to nip it in the bud whenever you can. And especially in the beginning when they're head over heels for you and you catch something like that, they're willing to change and do things for you because they like you. I always say it over and over again, girls have a lot of power in the relationship because the guy is usually the one trying to court them. They'll clearly pay money for the cat. They'll travel for the cat. They'll go out of their way for their cat. They'll risk relationships with friends and family for the cat. They'll hook up with their best friend's girl for the cat. Like, they do all sorts of stuff for the cat. What makes you think they won't change for you? Like, if they really like you, what makes you think they won't change for you? So bring it up. We need to stop assuming. Okay, I talked about that on the live. We need to stop assuming of these, like, that they're gonna fix themselves. Stop assuming. It's not gonna happen. Later on, you're gonna be like, I should have just fucking left, or I should have done this. Too many girls are waiting around to assume that things are gonna get better, things are gonna get fixed, and when they never do. The moment it's a problem at a certain point, bring it up then. Whew. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for always listening to the podcast. I had to record this one a little earlier than I usually do because if you're listening to this on Monday or Tuesday, I'm still going to be in Alaska. I'm going to go over there, be freezing my balls off. So I'm currently freezing my balls off right now. So just know that when you're listening to this podcast, I'm probably out there shivering in an igloo. No, joking, not an igloo, but it's going to be cold. So, and I wanted to do this episode just because this was a topic that, I have every time I have conversations with people, it gives me ideas for podcasts. And this was definitely one of them. So if you guys have any ideas for podcasts, comment on the podcast, the YouTube stuff. Like, I pay attention to the comments and when people are like, oh, do an episode on this. And I'm like, that's a good idea. I haven't done that. Let me look into some stuff. Let me get do some research, and then I'll get back to you guys. So again, thank you guys for listening, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I did that because all right, bye.